I would first like to open up this opportunity by asking a simple question of, how is your day going? I'll already ask that question at the end of the presentation, but looking about the room, everyone's answers have differed. But I will also argue that more than half the room is lying to each other. A statistic drawn in 2002 by the University of Massachusetts states that 60% of adults can't have a 10-minute conversation without lying at least once. Now let's ponder that idea. Putting that in our perspective, that means that 6 out of 100 people are deceivers and create a facade only within the first minute of a conversation. Now applying that to a worldview, that makes 6% of the globe, all at different instances, living within a false reality. But who is the 6%? Is it you? Is it me? I believe that we are all the 6%, and according to science, because we all live in that constant overarching reality is false. With that understanding and thinking of the overarching reality, it acts like a pool of human perception of what we can physically and mentally process. That pool has 3 different levels of reality. But first, let's digress on the pool. The pool, or the overarching reality, is a collective reality, or also known as the altered reality. It is only the surface. This is the real that we all live in as a collective group, as we submit our ideas, ideals, and beliefs with those around us. Because the majority usually leads these beliefs, many of us don't question the claims or statements that are made. But the power of numbers does not mean truth. And many of us forget that even the majority can be persuaded and led to a lie. That brings us to the first level of the pool, which is the physical reality, where we believe what we see, and they are led by the 5 senses: touch, taste, smell, hear, and sight. These 5 senses are used to defend the claim. I may argue that even though the 5 senses would be the most logical form of support to any situation, there's no given proof that there's a true relationship between reality, the 5 senses, and perception. So if it is not what is in front of our eyes, then what is real? What constitutes it? That brings me to the 3rd level of reality, the cognitive reality, where we see what we believe, and this is where faith and belief root. This reality is subjective and personal. As my perception and views of a table based on the characteristics may be your perception and views of a chair. But because we view the object different but associate it with the same word, we find a sense of agreement even though they are both different compelling ideas. Even with cognitive reality, your perception can still be tainted. External forces, for example, like environment, can still influence your perception. All 3 of these realities, altered reality, physical reality, and cognitive reality, all fall under the idea of you submitting to the reality, to an idea, to a standard. And then there is self-reality, a reality that is objective to your own ideas, but subjective to everyone else. A real that no one else can taint or contaminate, and only you can touch it with the canvas. Magicians, for example, create and manipulate those around them in their favor. The manipulation is a creation of your reality, false to others but true to you. They create a sense of belief, and instead of submitting to the reality submits to them. And I believe that we all have the ability to become magicians, to be alchemists of this world and create gold out of nothing. So why does this matter? As people of this competitive world, we feel the need to strive and become something great. And usually that something is something we are not. Something we believe we are not. We look at the goal and think of the impossible. Teenagers, including myself, are a big victim of this trap. Looking at the goal but believing that it is impossible. But I believe once we view that goal, we are already there. So looking back at all 3 of these different levels of reality, they all coexist with one another in the big pool of altered reality, and language acts as a mediator between them. So coming back to the question that I asked you in the very beginning, how's your day going? That is up for you to decide. Thank you.